How's it going, everybody? And welcome to an episode of GrapeApe's Reaver Express. I am Matt, also known as GrapeApe, and we missed you 2 weeks ago. Had some stuff come up, and we had to cancel that episode, but we are back with a vengeance. As you'll see, Cirrus isn't with us, able to be with us tonight. Daphne, playing our wizard Daphne, he's got COVID again. Cirrus, we wish you the best. Hope you get well. And Lou, who plays our thief Vasici, will also not be with us this evening. Hopefully we'll see Lou again down the road, but he's got a lot of things coming up, including his Kickstarter ending in a few hours. So Elena, if you could, I sent that link for you. If you could post that in our chat so people could come take a look at it. If you haven't looked at it yet, he is trying to get to that next stretch goal for those clings that stick onto the front, which I would very much like, being a backer of 1 and 2. I think it's a great stretch goal, but take a look at that if you haven't. It ends in a few hours. But we do have our outstanding cast here with us tonight. And Chris, it's been a month since I've seen you. Tell us who you are and who you'll be playing and what's been going on. Just how are you doing?
Hey, I'm Chris here in Los Angeles, California. I'm doing great. Good to see you two again. GrapeApe, good to see you all. Playing the role of Quarrel, the sociopathic elf with a personality of 4 and the missing mithril sword. I'm happy that we have reached, last time we played, something that looked kind of like a conclusion because we are down a wizard and down a thief, so we are not in good shape to do a lot of real risky business.
This is true. You guys are going to have to be cautious because the danger has gotten greater. But speaking of the danger, you do have a strong new ally that has joined your group. Helen, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really well because I'm playing Urk the Warrior, more of a barbarian type, really, and he just hit level 2. So, a way to increase his abilities. So he's
Urk is
just your average, not too bright, gung-ho, but good-hearted kind of guy. So,
right. And he,
at the end of the last adventure, he did find a really nice dagger as treasure. And he was just bright enough to realize that maybe he couldn't make the best use of it. And he gave it to Vasici, who I guess is taking it into another plane of existence for a while.
You can, temporarily put that back in your belt. We'll say Vasici passed it along back to you because you did figure out that was a magical dagger. So it did have a capability of letting you kind of see things in the dark, giving you some long distance infravision there. So yeah, you can definitely hold on to that until Vasici gets back.
Okay.
Mark, how about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm playing our cleric, Barclay, who in the last session, if you were there, had a kind of reconnection with his god and got a little rejuvenation with Restore Vitality, which is bringing him back to hopefully help us this time if we get into trouble. Got my stamina back up, and I think Carpessa maybe has better connectivity underground now after that experience, so we'll see.
I don't know about that. That might be a leap, saying that she's can connect underground. So TBD. But last but not least, Dave, how's it going over in Australia this evening?
It's going great. We've had a bit of rain, which has been good. We've had a lot of hot weather here lately, and it's started to cool down again. I'm sort of working my way back up the coast. I'm on the Gold Coast at the moment, and I'll be playing Pasternak, our other elf, the junior elf of the party.
Not so junior anymore, and thank you for those 5 rolls. Coral, if you would also like to make your 5 hidden door rolls. For our thief and our elven characters, because they have abilities that might otherwise encourage some metagaming, I always ask them to roll 5 rolls. And then when those situations come up in the game, I'll ask them to roll a d5 and see which one they get. because I will jot them down at random. So we left off, and you guys had found a survivor. Well, not really a survivor. You found no survivors when you came into this cave. Everyone was been slaughtered, very neatly, very cleanly. You're not sure what happened, but it was with precision, and nothing was taken. It just seemed like a slaughter. You haven't found any reason for it yet.
But we
But
did find a
everyone who was
survivor
in.
before.
You did find a survivor. He was coming back from a hunting trip, or I can't recall where he was coming from, but a youth, and he had returned and wrongly assumed that you guys were the murderers and tried to flee, to which you beat him into submission and have kidnapped him to walk around with you this entire time. Is that accurate?
No, the
Uh,
relationship got off on the wrong foot. That's
we
all.
were trying not to have to beat him up. He just, kind of tried to attack us. But he wasn't impressed, I believe, when someone started looting some coins in the counting room. That person, I believe, is not
Uh,
here.
But he is indeed with you, and his name is Trexon. And he has kind of led you to this point right here. He's telling you this is where, the bosses would hang out. This is where kind of all the action is. He's telling you, you guys just came in and you saw amongst the other dead bodies. And I've fixed his token to look more like the youth that he is and not one of these rugged bandits. But you see a figure kind of at the top of the stairs. Dark skin, very curly, kind of shoulder length hair, strapping in jaunty muscles, and he is bleeding from a severe laceration in his side. He looks very ashen, and it looks like he's killed and dead the same as everyone else. But Trexon points to him and he says, "That's Humlin. He was in charge ever since, her other leader passed."
Barkley, can you help him? Urk know how.
Well, if he can tell us where they took him, I'd gladly help him, but I'm not sure he's going to cooperate with us.
He hurt, must help him.
Have we interacted with this fellow? Has he noticed us?
He is laying on the ground. He looks to be dead.
Oh, he looks to be dead.
He's bleeding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone in here is bleeding and dead and dying, and you haven't found anyone else alive yet. So he's at the top of the stairs, and he appears to be dead, but he has a very deep gash. Part of his intestines are coming out of his stomach.
Okay, so all the other
Jackson has
bandits
identified him as the leader.
Okay, and all the other bandits, they're all down too. We didn't run into a group of angry bandits.
These guys are all dead.
Okay.
So they where they lie is where they were slaughtered.
Okay, then Barclay would then go over to the stairs where this guy, and then see if he is, any remnants of life potentially left that I could cure him and bring him back from the brink.
So what is everyone else doing? Dave, Quarrel, Urk.
I'd like to get up here on the deck.
Urk will go help Barkley if he can, even if it's just by, fetching bandages or water or something like that. He doesn't know much about healing, but he'd like to help this guy. He's horrified by all the dead bodies.
Yeah.
And Trexon's going to be right there too. He's kind of going around the corner. He definitely does not want to stand by the water. Trexon has never really been back in this area of the cavern, but he kind of has heard stories about it. So he doesn't know what the thing is in the water, but he knows that it will just consume anything that's thrown in the water. So he definitely doesn't want to be by the water. You guys get up there, and it looks like there's some kind of planning table on the top, different maps and such like that. Most of it looks like it used to look like there's more there, like somebody scattered or gathered whatever was there. And there's still a couple mediocre maps laying around. But it definitely looks like a planning table. As you go to put your hands on him to check to see if he's got a pulse, his eyes flare open temporarily, real quick, and he reaches for your tunic in a last gasp of strength. He grabs you and he's like, "The devourer, the devourer will come," and his head just lolls to the side. You feel the faintest of pulse for just a moment, and as his head lolls to the side, it's almost like you lose it. The arm he reached up and grabbed you with does have the tattoo marked on it of the comet. And one thing that I told you guys is that all these bandits had the comet tattoo. That was kind of inaccurate. Probably about 10 to 15 of them that you've seen so far. So, you've seen about 30 or 40 bandits. Maybe only about a quarter, 25% of that have the tattoo on them.
So does
What do you do,
Barclay think
Barclay?
there's any chance of healing? I'll try and heal him if I think that there's a chance to bring him back.
I have told you what has happened,
I
and
am
if you would
going
like to
to
heal him.
Yeah, I'm gonna heal him, and as I'm laying hands on him, I'm gonna say to Urk, just watch him. Last time I healed somebody, I got stabbed in the stomach.
This is true.
Which is true. So
And while you're rolling for that healing, it's Halloween. So, the holidays are upon us. I get a little loopy. Today, we are giving away this glowing set of Lightning Bolt DCC dice. So this is our giveaway this evening. Stay tuned. We'll give that away after the break. But if you want a brand new set of Lightning Bolt glow-in-the-dark dice, all you got to do is put any emoji into chat. A 17 is going to do it. You don't see him completely heal. His alignment is probably not yours. So it doesn't look as effective as it might against one of your other friends. But you do see his wound as you're kind of putting his intestines back in his stomach. You do see his wound heal a little bit, and his breathing become a little more regular. He's still unconscious, but it looks like he may pull through.
all right, I'll say to Urk, help me move him up to a flat, nice surface. Let's just get him stable. I don't know if he's he may
points at
have
the
information.
table there.
Yeah, so we can bring him up and try and lay him out on the table that's there, brushing away probably important information, but
Kirk doesn't care. He can't read it.
yes. And I'll just stay with him to try and see if I can keep him alive for now, knowing that we might be able to get some information out of him later.
Okay. So Urg deposits him on the table. You're kind of checking his wounds. You can still see the skin has, just has that thin film over it where it's begun to seal. It looks like any jolt or jostle could split that open again.
Urk will try to be really gentle when moving.
Okay. Pasternak and Coral? What do you guys do?
I think now that he's being attended to, I'll have a look around under the table, on the table, see if there's anything left behind that might give us an idea of what the bandits were planning to do before they were attacked.
There are a couple various maps around. One is of Fallon. The other is kind of the surrounding area. There is a small map of the country as a whole, depicting larger cities, the coasts, and of course the capital. But the map that kind of strikes your eye is one that looks to be very rudimentary, and it looks out of place amongst these other maps. Like the other maps were obviously drawn by a cartographer. They look to have some kind of skill. This one looks like it's very amateurish, and it definitely looks out of place amongst this table of plans. And it looks like it's just a trail that kind of heads up into the mountains, and just a circled area. So it would lead to the northeast of here. It doesn't have any other recognizable symbols on it. It's just a trail with a line surrounding landmarks. You can see the lake with the wizard's tower, the tower on it. So you recognize the cave, and just a trail, just a squiggly line going up to the mountains to the northwest.
I'll hold it up and look to the others. This might be worth investigating.
Trexon comes up to you, Barclay, and he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you healing? He caused all this. It's his fault."
Yes, and don't you want to know who did this? He may have
No,
information. You don't care who
I don't-
killed all your friends and family?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he killed them.
Oh,
It was
then who
his
killed him?
actions
Who killed
when he
him?
took over. I don't
Th-
know, but he's not dead yet. He's still alive.
And
The
I
parents
want
are
to
dead.
keep him alive and see who he made this deal with, where those people went, where they came from. Because he made a deal, but somebody else did the slaughtering, and he's going to tell us, hopefully.
Kind of scoffs and looks at the ground. Pasternak, what are you doing?
He just said, "You mean
Um,
Coral?" Or maybe you don't.
Say that again.
I think you called him. I think you called me Pasternak.
Oh, Coral. I'm sorry, I meant Coral.
I was going to ask Trexon
Yeah.
too, like about. So this guy's got the comet tattoo. Does Trexon like? So was he the leader of the comet cult? Do you think? Did he? Did you ever see him telling the others what to do? Who had the comet sign? Did he have a special relationship with them?
No, he's only been the leader of the city for about a week. Since Idra died, he's the one that won the fight to take over.
Oh,
I mean,
all right.
there was about 4 captains or higher ups that were fighting amongst themselves on who was going to take over. And he came in and killed the last guy. And so, by the right of battle, nobody else wanted to challenge.
Did any of those guys ever talk about this comet or what it meant?
I've never heard anything about it. I mean, they've talked about their god. I think some deity that they worship, Abaddon.
Hmm. Interesting.
What about the Devourer? Does that mean anything to you? The Devourer will come?
Oh, I've never heard that before.
As a sage, would I have heard of either of these, Abaddon or the Devourer?
Give me an intelligence roll. It's definitely possible.
Would Barkley know? He's a cleric.
Yeah. Would Barclay have heard of? I mean, as a player, I know of Abaddon. But
Give me an intelligence roll.
Only a 5, I'm afraid.
You have not heard of either of those.
11.
It's not. I was looking for a little bit higher. These are not. These words that you're hearing are not in the normal lore. They are a little bit more obscure. So no,
And
on 11, you have not heard of it either.
Trexon doesn't know either.
He has not. He has no idea. What next?
So Urk says, Berkeley, men may know where Rito went.
Yes. That's what I'm hoping. And who killed all these people? So I'm hoping to keep him alive and find out, see if he knows. And as I'm saying this, I'm looking to Trexon, saying seeing who knows who slaughtered all the people here.
Does it look like there are any medical supplies around here? Like, bandages or things like that?
There are 2 rooms underneath, but no, up here, this looks more like there's a couple casks of oil over on the back, lanterns, resting over here, torches and boxes, some sailcloths that are, some blankets and cloths that are kind of folded up, different chair cushions in one of the boxes.
Are there
No,
any oars,
you don't appear any medical supply.
oars, or anything like
There
that
are
lying around?
not any oars lying around.
All right. Barclay will say, well, maybe we may have to take him out here, so maybe we can take some of that cloth and some wood if we can pull some off of something and make a stretcher to haul him out of here, because I don't know if he'll come through very soon.
Do you think
can-
it'd take them back to the tower?
Or at least out of this, like back to where our camp is. I'm guessing we're not going to hang out here
Well,
for too long, but yeah.
whoever came through here on a murder spree looks like they did what they had to do. I doubt they'll be back.
All right. Well, we could stay here. Yeah.
Good point.
We do have the magic healing bed at the tower, but isn't that days away?
Yeah.
It is.
Should we check what's underneath and
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to take a couple of those flasks of oil, if that's okay. Just put them in my sack.
So they're not really flasks. They're
Okay.
kind of like little 5-gallon pony kegs of oil. So
Never
the
mind.
little mini barrels, up at the top left.
You might be able to fill a flask if you have one.
I do not have
Definitely.
any as a problem. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, let's see what's underneath.
alternatively, you could take like 2 or 3 full lanterns if you wanted to. I mean, it's not too heavy to carry a 5-gallon little cask around. It'd be a little awkward, but it might fit
Yeah.
into a big sack.
I don't think I'm going to be carrying a 5-gallon jug of oil around. It's a nice thought. But
If you want to rig up a backpack, Urk could put it on his back. Then someone hits his back and he's covered
right,
in
I
oil.
was just thinking that. That sounds dangerous.
Urk, no danger.
All right. So Humlin, even if you're watching him, he's going to be unconscious for who knows how long. So at least the next couple hours, he's unconscious. He's a little mumbling in between. He's like, Abaddon, the holy Abaddon, is the gate and the key. He's mumbling these rantings every so often, sweating profusely, calling out in pain. Ah! But he does not wake up. The next couple hours, what do you guys want to do? Are you moving anywhere?
We'd like to search the ship, the underneath part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Urk will go
Yeah.
open one of those doors and check it out.
Okay. The underholds underneath look like 2 very luxurious sleeping quarters. Obviously, one is got like 4 beds in it for the 4 captains, the one on the left. And the one on the right has 1 bed in it for whoever was the leader, Edru, and then Humlin. So it appears to be their quarters. There's a lot of interesting loot around here. Could I get Pasternak and Coral to roll me a D5, please?
Oh.
As you are traversing these, the Coral, that is going to be your 22. And Pasternak, that is one of your 14s. So you guys find a very nice set of plate armor. Polished. It does not have any insignia on it, but it is a full set of plate mail. You find a very fine set of black leather armor in the cottage to the right. It looks to be of exceptional quality, with no wear or cracking in the leather whatsoever. Amongst the other loot that you find these guys have had this racket going for quite a while. So Trexon tells you, that anyone who seeks sanctuary here has to bring some kind of item of magical quality, or they have to pay a certain amount to be hidden, and it's too far away for the king or anyone else to mess with it, so they ship food in and stuff like that. And so it's just kind of a city where you go to lose yourself. There is a longbow in there of exceptional quality. I hope somebody's writing this down. A lance, a very fine longsword. You find an assortment of jewelry, but most notably, there is a ring that has a little hum to it. There's also a wand that looks to be arcane in nature, and a necklace. So all these things stand out as not being ordinary pieces of treasure. There are other ordinary pieces of treasure, totaling probably about 248 gold pieces. All the jewelry and gems and collections. And then, probably about a good 800 silver pieces, and then, pieces. They've got a, but not where.
Sorry, Matt, I missed
So
the last bit there.
So 248 gold pieces exactly, 847 silver pieces, and then 121 copper pieces. The exact numbers.
So, how does Trexon seem to be acting as we look through all this stuff?
What is all this stuff? I mean, it's like they've just hoarded everything in here. What did they do with it all? I mean, it's just sitting here.
Maybe they use it?
Yeah, maybe they meant to sell it to finance one of their operations.
Maybe they're waiting to offer it to their deity.
Well, in any case, it's ours now.
All these so you guys can find just about any weapon, any normal weapon. If you want to collect like all the short swords and two-handed swords off of all the dead bodies, leather armor, padded armor, hide armor in abundance, shields in abundance, all of them mundane. The things that look to be of really exceptional quality that were kind of set out and put to the side are the items that I've described so far.
Trexon, you okay if Urk look at Longsword here?
I don't want anything in here. It's not mine. I'm thinking of leaving. This isn't my home anymore. Take whatever you want.
Where will
Well-
you go?
If no one else wants it, Urk would be interested in the long.
Anybody else want it? It is metal, unfortunately.
Metal good. Strong.
Takes out the two elves. All right, it sounds like it's yours.
The elves may like the fancy leather. Was it +2?
Yeah.
As
Passing
soon
it
as
was
you
eyeing off
grab the sword,
Hmm?
Urk, as soon as you grab the sword, you hear a voice whispering in your head, reverently, very passionately. Yes, it's about time someone picked me up.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
we're talking.
Me. It's I, the sword, that you have picked up in your hand. I am speaking in your mind.
The sword talks?
Yes, the
That-
sword talks.
Strange.
I have just increased your intelligence fourfold by you holding me.
Yes.
Urk, who are you
Well,
talking to?
not your intelligence not your intelligence per se, but us combined. With my intelligence and your understanding of my intelligence, we are a much smarter pair.
So Urk's intelligence is 4, so so he's kind of just trying to grasp. He's never heard of anything like this, so this is freaking him out a bit. It's like,
Yeah,
You
I can
with
imagine.
sword? You fight with me?
But as we slay the undead vampires that pollute this earth,
Were there
versus
vampires here?
abominations. Oh, there's vampires everywhere, bloodsuckers, all of them. And we will destroy them all, you and I.
Okay.
But Coral, you had said something. You kind of hear this conversation going on, and what did you say?
Urk, who are you talking to?
Sword talk. He say kill vampires.
All right. Sounds good.
Oh, that elf, he is welcome to join us in our crusade.
These my friends.
Oh, they are all welcome to join us.
Okay. We trying to find out who killed all people here.
Yes, I'm sure it was a vampire.
So where we find vampire to kill them?
I don't know where they are. That will be your task, but when you find them, I will help you slay them.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, what do you guys want to do next?
I think there was like a magic ring or something, and I'm presuming you guys want
Wand,
that.
a ring, a wand, and a necklace. I think. Well, Barclay was before we get to that. Barclay was looking at the plate armor, um, which is gonna slow him down quite a bit, but might keep him a little more alive. So I don't know if anybody else is looking for
No,
plate armor.
unless the warrior's into it, I think we can't touch it.
Yeah. Is anything interesting about the
I-
plate armor as he goes and inspects it and holds it up, see if it'll like fit him, and he's got chainmail on, so he'll like take part of his chainmail on and hold it up for size and see if it'll fit
It
on him.
is. It looks to be, not of exceptional quality or anything, but well made. Well taken care of. No rusting. The dents have been lovingly pounded out. So whoever wore this, took care of it. But it does appear to be mundane. There isn't any kind of tingling that you get when you touch it,
Okay.
as with other items. But it will boost your AC by 8. So
Yeah.
pretty big. Are you going to put that on now, Barclay?
Yeah, I'm gonna start to take off my chainmail and start putting that on, which will take a little bit of time, and then if any of y'all want to look at the rings, the wand, the necklace.
I'm kind of interested in the longbow. Maybe pick that up. I don't have a ranged weapon. Okay, I do have a throwing axe, but it's pretty puny.
The longbow
Oh.
looks to be of exceptional quality. It gives you a little tingle when you touch it. Mark, does Barclay have detect magic going on?
No, I only have detect evil. And I had cast it before because I remember I detected like the traps and it was kind of going when I think we came in here.
All right. So all of these things, unless they talk to you directly, like the sword, you get a little tinge. You guys have handled arcane items before. Their electricity that they have, so you can recognize the electricity in most of these things, except for the plate mail. But you don't know exactly what the boon or bane of them are. So the longbow definitely gives you a little tinge. Pasternak, what about yourself?
I wouldn't mind the leather armor if no one objects.
Okay.
I was also going to suggest what armor's Quarrel wearing?
Coral has a very distinctive full set of wooden armor that is magical and finely grained. It looks like he's got 2x4s all over him. It's very strange looking, but it's like, oh, I picked this up in the fen. It's good stuff. You just got to keep it away from fire. Fire's not good for it.
I was going to suggest I still have my mithril quills.
Just
So
soak it in
if
that oil.
you need a weapon or a
You know,
or armor,
I do need a weapon, like a hand weapon, but I've been holding out for a two-handed sword, and Matt has been very clear that there's not one to be had. So I think I might just make do with spells and my pair of scissors until I can lay my hands on one.
There are a couple in here. So
Are
yeah,
there?
you got yeah. So there's a couple guards, a couple of the beefier guys, bandits around here in the that were kind of like the main guard for the whoever the boss was. They have two-handed swords. You can
But they're
definitely
not-
play. It is iron, and they are nicked. None of them look great, but there are some.
I will take you up on one of those quills then. We can if we can do
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Urk
I'm
used
happy to do.
javelin, made wood.
Wood sword,
Wood javelin?
wood javelin. I prefer something that can slice.
Okay, so as you touch the mithril quill to the two-handed sword, you see it instantly disintegrate on the sword itself. The feather just kind of powders as soon as it touches, as soon as it finishes the inscription, um, and it just kind of coats. It twinkles and falls on the sword, kind of like sparkles, and then you just see the metal change of it absorbing outward, and before you know it, you're looking at a mithril two-handed sword.
I'm back, baby. Ah. Thanks, Pasternak.
Because it affects your
My
AC,
pleasure.
Pasternak, I will tell you that the leather armor is +2.
Thank you.
So that will affect your AC, so we might as well just get that out. All right. As you're taking off your armor and putting on the plate, Trexon looks at your chain shirt and he says, "Are you going to keep that?"
If you'd like it, yeah. I mean, you can. I have no need for it anymore. I've got this new new armor.
He grabs it and lifts it up and folds it up a little bit. It looks like it might be a little big for him, but he'll probably grow into it.
I would also, looking at the rest of them, saying, and some of this coin, if you're gonna restart your life elsewhere, maybe you should take some of this coin, look into the rest to see if my friends agree.
Definitely.
I'm sure this was stolen from friends and family of yours at some point, and maybe if you do leave to restart over, that you should take some of this coin too.
Thank you. And he'll take whatever you give him.
Urk gives him a sack.
Fill up.
He puts the chain and the coins inside. There's other things in here, normal things. Some nice bed sheets. Lockers with personal possessions, stuff like that. Nothing else. So anything, rope, a couple flasks of oil. I mean, flask of wine. I'm sorry.
Hey, we can drink the wine and then you have flasks
Right.
for the oil.
Right. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Pass
So
these
there. I mean,
around.
there's at least 6 or 7 flasks of wine in here. So you guys can find any kind of equipment in here that you normally would find in a bandit hideout bedroom.
Any arrows?
Any what?
Arrows?
Yes, tons of arrows.
Okay. Take a few of
Any
those.
medical
Tons of bolts. Any metal what?
medical supplies?
What kind of medical supplies?
I don't know, like bandages or herbs or something like that. Something
No, I
this-
mean, it looks like they didn't really have medical supplies. If you got injured and there's scars all over these guys, if it didn't kill you and it healed, you're good to go. If it killed you, you weren't strong enough to in the group anyway.
Breaking up there a little bit for me, Matt. I don't know if it's the same for others.
So there is a distinct lack of healing supply.
Barclay would have
Did you guys
though.
get that?
Yeah, lack of medical supplies, but there were
Yeah.
cloth from like sails and stuff, so we
And
can rip
sheet.
up. Yeah, sheets, so we can rip up some of those to take some bandage material. Is there any type of chalk or ink or paint type stuff down here?
There's chalk. There's probably a couple pots of ink, a couple of ink wells. No
I'll
paint.
take those.
Barclay will take the breastplate of the plate mail with chalk and decorate it with markings of Carpessa on it. Some grapes, some flowers, seeds, fruit, just to put his emblem of Carpessa on his new armor.
What god do you put on there? I don't recognize the symbols.
Oh, you don't know of Carpessa. She is
No.
she has guided me since my days as a simple fruit stand seller, and if you've ever tasted like a crisp apple or planted a seed and seen a tree grow, or seen the pollen that comes out of the honey that comes out of flowers. She is the goddess of fruits, vegetables, and the things that start as seed and become into things that nourish us. So if you've eaten any of these items, I'm sure you've experienced, or you just haven't known her by name. I can tell you more about her if you'd like.
Maybe. Is there anything else we need to do here?
Do we want to rest here?
I guess we should rest and build a stretcher.
Yeah.
So you could take one of the beds apart, and just use one of the sideboards to build a stretcher. This would probably be the most comfortable area. It definitely does have nice beds. So yeah, you could definitely rest here for the evening and get started in the morning. Done. Throughout the night, Hublin does not regain consciousness. Do you want to try and lay on hands again?
Yes. See if I can get him a little conscious. I'm also, before I heal him anymore, I want to check this guy for weapons. Like, make sure he doesn't have, a knife in his boot. None of that going on. So I'll pat him down first.
He definitely does. He definitely does have a knife in his boot. He's got one hidden in the backside of his belt as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got, probably a lockpick in his mouth somewhere under his tongue or something. I'm checking him out to make sure. I've learned once before, not going to let that happen again.
Yeah.
So after that, I'll see if I can kind of bring him around to just see if get him conscious enough to at least talk to us. And that is a
That's
20
gonna do
lay
it.
on hands.
Yeah, so as you lay your hands upon him again, this time you see the wound heal over quite a bit. The color returns to his flesh, and he kind of, his breathing eases. He's been sweating and panting and gas. And as you're casting the spell on him, he looks to be at peace. And then his eyes flare open. Did you guys tie him up?
Nope.
I
But
don't
Urk was
remember
there. Urk would have
anybody
been there
saying you
watching
tied
for
him
him.
up.
No, we didn't. But Barclay told Urk always to watch for him to make sure he didn't attack after being healed. So Urk would be like right there, ready to jump.
Okay, let's see who's faster. So let's roll initiative because he is going to try to punch Barclay right in the face.
Okay.
And yeah, probably just Barclay and Urk. Because Urk, even though you're watching him, he's been unconscious for the whole time. So
Barclay had
you guys
specifically asked Urk while Barclay was healing to watch.
So, Barclay, you've got your hands on him. His eyes flare open, and he looks at you wildly. What do you do?
So if I see him reacting to try and come after me, I'm going to restrain him and grab his arms. Be like,
He has not acted yet. You get the first action. So you're healing him. You have your hands upon him. He is not bound. So you do not know what's in his mind, but his eyes flare open. And he does not recognize you.
so I'll say to him,
So what action would you take?
I would tell him, like, I brought you back, but don't make any moves because we could easily send you back where you were going.
All right. Urk, you're up next.
So Urk, I guess, would seeing that there's maybe an issue, he'd probably like just place his hands on the guy's arms, like not, putting a lot of strength, but just gently putting his hands on the guy's arms and say,
We friends, we help you.
Okay. He sees and feels the hands, both of your hands, because you just healed him. So he definitely knows he's restrained. He looks around quickly, wildly, his eyes flashing back and forth, and he tries to kick Urk in the top of the head. Urk, does an 11 hit you?
no.
Okay, so he kind of, I'm imagining you're behind him, like your hands on his shoulders. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Like behind his head.
So, yeah, so kind of over here, maybe. So he kind of does a sit up, like a crunch, and he tries to kick you in the head. But as soon as he does so, his side, he's like, ah! So he's obviously still injured, and the kick misses. But now, Barclay, it is your turn. So that is what he did.
I'm gonna grab his legs.
Before you go, I'm sorry, Pasternak and Coral, you guys aren't in initiative. You don't really need to be, but do you guys do anything at this point?
Looks like they've got the situation well in hand, as far as I can tell from here.
Once Pasternak hears a scream, he'll come over running.
Okay, so you guys are rushing up. You see him struggling a little bit. Mark, I'm sorry. What was Barclay gonna do?
Kind of put my weight on his legs and start wrapping them up with some of the bandages that I had pulled off to just tie his legs up with those bandages. And saying, yeah, it hurts, I bet. You keep struggling and it'll hurt more.
Be a strength roll.
Well.
So yeah, he is still injured. He is still very weak, so he's rolling on a D14. And he kind of is in so much pain from trying to kick Urk in the head that he is easily wrapped up. His legs, you wrap him up, his ankles like a mummy, and he's struggling a little bit, but not effectively. Urk, what are you gonna do?
Trexen, he awake. Tell him we friends.
Jackson comes up, and he kind of stands between you and Barclay. He's like, brought this on yourself. And Trexen pulls out a dagger and tries to stab him.
Didn't we take his weapon?
You took his weapon, but Trexen is trying to.
Trexen, okay.
There's dead bodies all over there. Trexen
Yeah.
is trying to stab him,
Okay.
but he's very awkward with it, and so he, even though the guy's like laying right there and being restrained, he just kind of nicks his arm, nicks his shoulder, and then he kind of pulls back like he doesn't know how to like plunge it in and how to twist it, and he's just inexperienced. But that he's emotional too. He's kind of little tears in his eyes, and he's like, "You did this to yourself," and he gives him a little nick. So that's what he does in response to what you said. Now, do you do anything else for your action?
All right, so I'll say,
Trexen, it okay.
Urk will give him a big hug because he just sees he's sad. So he'll take
as
his
soon
hands
as you
off
let go.
the guy and hug Trexen.
That makes sense. As soon as his shoulders are free, he tries to deck Barclay right in the nose. So he does another small little sit up. But he's leaning forward, tries to hit Barclay, and he is in some major pain. So a 4 is definitely not going to hit Barclay's. He hits Barclay's new plate armor.
That's what I'm thinking. Clang! Yeah, how does that feel?
So Pasternak and Quarrel, he's obviously struggling very ineffectively. Even if he got away, like really, where would he go? But do you guys jump in there and restrain him?
I'll go up to kind of the top half and sort of try and pin his shoulders down, so it's easier for those two to get a handle on him.
Okay. Quarrel, what are you doing? I mean Pasternak. Gosh dang it!
Which wins?
We all look the same to you, don't we, Matt? All us elves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Bit it. Pasternak will just draw his wooden sword and point it at him and say, "Short."
He falls back on the table. Healed and then threatened with a play sword. What else can go wrong? Fine. Bind me up. I stop resisting. I surrender. Seeing that it's futile, he's not going to escape. He gave it his best effort. He holds his arms up to be bound.
So Barclay will bind his arms, and then sit on his chest and say, I don't think you understand. Like, sure, you surrender. The question is, do you want to live? That's what you really should be thinking about. Well, then tell us.
Of course.
Tell us who you made this deal with.
I'll tell you everything. Just get off me.
And I'm going to poke him in one of the places where his wound his guts were previous and say, like, no, I think you talk first. And then we'll see if I get off you.
Rexon absorbs your hug, Urk, and then kind of drops the dagger and kind of heads over here. Back facing y'all.
Trexen, if you...
It's going to take a moment.
We'll show you how to use dagger later.
Thank you. Quarrel and Pasternak, you guys doing anything else besides restraining? Anything you want to say?
I was gonna, but I think I'm like Quarrel's kind of taken aback at this sort of dark Barkley we're seeing, and we're like, oh, I wonder where this is gonna go.
I mean, this
Oh, you broke up there a bit again, Matt.
I said this is almost like torture. I'm gonna have to review your alignment.
Well, as far as Barkley is concerned, like this guy made a deal and all these people died, and Rita is now being held prisoner, and this guy may have information. So, sometimes you
What
got
do
to
you
do a
want to
little
know?
like, who'd you make this deal with? Like the people
King,
that came and murdered
King.
everybody.
The
The
King's
king.
elite guards came in here and slaughtered everyone.
Why?
Why? Because they wanted the woman. Ah!
Where'd
Where
they
did
take her?
I don't know. I'm not with them. How could I decide? How could I know where they took her? Get off me! I told you.
Which
what
woman?
about
The one you were
Barkley
looking
made
for. Rita.
That is Rita. Pasternak will pull out the map that he found earlier. Where does this lead?
Oh, it'll take you to the gate. I'll take you there.
what is the
It'll
gate?
take
The
you to
gate to
Abaddon.
what?
Gate to Abaddon. The answer to life and death. Eternal life in the garden. I'll take you there. It can be yours. All your dreams come true.
Where did they take Rita? Did they take Rita to the gate?
How could I know where they took her? I told you before, I'm not with them. Ah, I don't know where they took her.
Why would they have wanted this woman? Did you talk to her when she was here? What did you know of her?
I don't know anything about her. I just know that you wanted her. So I offered her to the king's guards. I heard the king was looking for you. Your posters were all over the place. Our informants told us. Whisperwood, Fallon, you're
We do get
wanted
around.
fugitives. Didn't take much effort to find out who you were looking for. You've been parading all over North Haven, trying to find her. Lo and behold, we had her here the whole time.
What about that comet? What does it mean?
Laughs menacingly. It gets under Barkley's nerves a little bit.
Yeah, I think
What did you say, Chris?
Barkley would have punched him in the wound a little bit at that evil laugh that he just gave out. So
Nice. And what did you say, Quarrel?
What about that comet that some of you have on your arm? What does it mean?
Go to the Pallid Gate and you'll find out. I'll take you there.
Yeah, I'll bet you will.
Let me go. If you want to find Rita, go to the Pallid Gate and talk to Abaddon. He's the wise one that can tell you where to find her.
this Abaddon, eternal life. He vampire.
No, he's not a vampire. And the sword is whispering in your head, yes, yes, find out if he's a vampire. I mean, this one definitely isn't, but oh, good question, good question. And I told you what you want to know. Get off my chest.
Barclay will slowly get off his chest. Say, well, you told me enough that I'm not going to kill you right now, but a lot of people died here, and Rita is gone. Still doesn't mean you're going to live. and the rest of you
The-
all see that Barclay is not happy about any of this. He's perhaps has a different look in his eye than he's had in the past.
For the first time, he gets a little dark look on his face, and his defiance drops momentarily, and he's like, "A lot of people did die here. My people."
And yet you remain alive. How did that come to happen?
I don't know. I fought as well as I could. Last thing I remember is my guts were splayed out all over the floor. I'm assuming your friend healed me?
We try help.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Um,
Hey, can you help cut these bandages off my feet?
Can you kick?
Oh, no. I won't kick you again. It was a misunderstanding.
I think you stay tied up for now.
Did you
Okay.
bind his hands? I mean, he
Yeah.
held them out, but I didn't
Yeah,
hear
I did.
anybody say they tied. Okay, okay.
I bound his hands and
No.
then I sat on his chest and punched him in the gut.
Okay.
So Urk trusts
What do you
Barkley,
guys
so if
want?
Barkley says keep him tied up, he'll keep him.
All right. What do you guys want to do?
Y'all
Maybe
wanna
we need a little conference of the chicken in the underquarters.
What are you going to do with him when you go conference?
Urk can stay and watch him. He's not going to add much to the. And he'll talk with Trexen too, if Trexen wants to chat.
I think we'd
So
also
Bark.
take any rope. There's plenty of rope on this ship to reinforce the bandages, so that in addition to bandages, there's ropes now tying up his arms and legs.
Okay, yeah, there's tons of rope. You can find, at least 500, 600 feet of rope. I'm going to get rid of some of these bandits just so we have a clear area. And Trexen does sit up there with you. Barclay, Quarrel, Passion, are all three of you going underneath to have a little conference?
I'll stand by the door, so I can see out while we're talking, just in case things get out of hand.
Okay. That will mean that he can probably hear what you're talking about. You
Um,
tell me.
Urk, if you'd like to move him, away from the door, let's stay within line of sight.
So are you going in the room and shutting the door, Pasternak, or are you staying by the door with it open?
I'll stay by the door with an open couple of inches.
Okay. So as you guys go into the room and have your conference, Humlin kind of sits up and he's like, "Oh, help me sit up, friend. My back is killing me." And he's talking to Urk.
Urk says, stay on table.
He's kind of watching
I-
him and ready to move.
I plan to stay on the table. Look at me. I'm bound. My arms and legs are bound. I'm not going anywhere. I just want to sit up on the table. Please. I'm still a person.
Yes, you ungrateful. Barkley heal you and you try punch him. We
Oh,
try
I
be
was,
nice, but you mean.
No, not mean. Taken off guard, scared. I mean, you saw my stomach, I assume. Thought I was going to be dead. I thought you were the king's guards, come back to finish the job. Trexen,
Okay,
help me sit up.
This is a big stretch in mentally for Urk, but he'll be like,
No, you know Barkley on poster. You know he not king's.
Well, I did once I recognized you. You are quite right. Trexen, help a fellow out. That's your name, isn't it? Trexen? And he's like, you should pay for what you did. Oh, okay. Well, no ally there. So that's a conversation that kind of happens above. What are you guys talking about underneath?
Well, what it comes down to for me is I can't slit a man's throat in cold blood while he's tied up. It's just not sporting. So I don't know. I certainly also don't want to carry him around for the next week and a half, right? So what do we do?
Oh, we have the map to the Pallid Gate. We're clearly going to have to go there.
Are we though?
If we want to get Rita back,
I don't think we need to. I mean, he's telling us to go to his deity, but the king's men didn't necessarily take him there. He's
Yeah,
just
it don't
told us
seem
to
like
go
it.
there to talk to his deity to find knowledge. I mean, the
okay.
king's men would have taken her somewhere else, maybe to the king or someplace.
Probably sending us up there to get eaten.
In
Yeah,
all likelihood, yeah.
I don't think Rita is at the gates.
I'm not sure he said the word deity. He said he is the gate and the key, the answer to life and death.
Okay.
He didn't say he was a deity.
Well, Barclay still thinks that he said the king's men took Rita away, and they seem to worship whatever is behind this gate. Uh, I don't. I think those are two different things.
Yeah, I'm
And
guessing that's the worship
Well,
ground for those comet people.
yeah,
yeah. Well, he mentioned that Abaddon was wise as well, which isn't something you normally attribute to a god. Because I guess they're generally all knowing by default.
If you guys want to check it out, the thing I don't want is to drag him up there and then he betrays us at the last minute and gets free and chops all our heads off and it's a big thing. And I feel like we've been down that road a couple times by now.
Yeah.
Barclay agrees. He's like Barclay. Well, he says I only I healed him because we needed information, and he told us some, and otherwise, I don't want to drag him around either. Maybe we
Well,
should leave his fate
I
to
don't.
Trexen.
Maybe we let Drexen decide
I
what to do.
Yeah, I don't see any huge benefit to keep him around. Not saying kill him, but I don't think even if he goes straight to the king, I mean, the king knows that you're out here.
This guy's no friend of it.
Yeah, he made a deal which caused the slaughter of all these people. So he's got a lot of blood on his hands.
Do you think so I don't know if we know that. Do you think that he actually told the King's men to come here? Do you think the King's men were tracking us, came here, killed everybody? He happened to live through it. I mean, that's one interpretation.
He said that he made a deal with.
Oh, he did say that? Okay.
He didn't say it, but you did hear it from Trexen.
But how would Trexen know that?
That part of the story you heard with Trexen. Because the conversation before Edru died, once you guys came, inquiries were being made. And so the place doesn't get newcomers often, but when it does, it's all a buzz with gossip and etc. Birds were sent out, ravens were sent out, communications were given throughout city contacts and stuff like that. And I mean, I can't tell you the whole thing, but Trexen knew that Edru had bartered a deal. Edru was going to let you in, but once he found out, they talked about it in the inner sanctuary. Once Edru died from the casting of Daphne's spell, there was a fight, there was an argument. Humlin took over, and Humlin bartered a deal, offering up whatever the king was looking for, and you guys.
Not thinking that the King's men would just come through and kill everybody.
No. He thought the king was honest. He thought he was going to get rich.
Right.
Yeah, so I think Barclay originally thought that we led the king's men to this place, but afterwards with that, it's like no, the information we brought and they cut a deal. But he still thinks this guy is responsible for making this deal, and Barclay doesn't care if he lives or dies.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm leaning towards. I mean, he probably deserves hanging,
Yeah.
more or less.
I mean, he also overestimated his defenses. Against well-trained soldiers, he thought they would be able to withstand, onslaught. But yeah,
Maybe we just turn him loose at the cave entrance and say,
Yeah. I think
so
we should turn
while
Humlin loose.
while you guys are still discussing this, Humlin is up there, and well, what's my fate to be then, fellows? Are you going to murder a man, cold blood?
Urk don't like murder, but think you should make good. You let Kingsmen kill people here. You need to
I
go
didn't
face
let them.
King.
I tried to fight the King's Guard. I mean,
You
you
brought
saw
it
the
here.
wounds.
You brought King here to kill people.
I did not bring the
You
King's
need
men
to
here
make
to
it up.
kill people. No, my friend. You've been told a lie.
What's
Or
Trexen?
Why would I bring the King's men to slaughter my people?
Maybe not on purpose, but you need to fix this wrong.
And Trexen's just like, I don't even want to hear his voice anymore. And he just kind of walks over to the gate right here and is hanging out. So Pasternak, you see him walk down. He's just kind of kicking around over here. Go back down to the conversation below. What is your guys' determination? What are your plans?
I say we should let just cut Humlin loose and ask Trexen what he wants to do.
Yeah.
We'll give him some traveling money and he needs from here.
Yeah, if Trexen had come down and we can see him, Barclay would say to Pasternak at the door, call Trexen in here. See if we can get Trexen into the conversation.
I'll beckon Trexen over.
Yes.
Trexen,
We'd value your opinion, please.
On what?
what do you think we should do with him?
He deserves nothing less than death. But there's so much death here already. What does life even mean? I don't care what you do with him. I'm done with this place. I've decided I'm going to take your armor and the money you've given me, and some weapons that I can pick up. And I'm going to leave.
Do you want him dead also?
I mean, he doesn't deserve to live, but I don't want to start my life, my new life, murdering someone.
I can understand.
Yeah.
well,
Urk
how
said
about
he would
we-
teach me the.
Go ahead.
Urk
How about
said
we-
he would teach me the ways of the sword. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to travel with you for a little bit.
And I can tell you more of Corpessa. Maybe that would help heal the pain that you have here.
I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Thank you.
Well,
how about we take him to the mouth of the cave on time? Say, if we ever see you again, you die.
All right, I'm just moving you guys all down all at once. When you give me your decision, so we have one option to take him to the mouth of the cave and kick him out.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Any other opinions?
Urk basically thinks that he committed a big wrong, even if it wasn't intentional, and he needs to make good on it. He needs to somehow get some penance. Not that he knows that big word.
Okay. Barclay, what's your determination?
Barclay's torn, and he wants to sleep on it.
We could
Thinks
hunt him,
we-
Barclay. Would that make you feel better? We could
What's
hunt
that?
him like the most dangerous game.
Haunt him?
Hunt him. We take our
Ooh.
bows and arrows and we let him give him a head start, and then we go after him.
It's a fox hunt.
Give him a sporting chance.
Feel like he should go on
As
trial for what happened here and pay for what has happened. There is no jury down here. There's no judges. There's no law. So how do we do justice to the
How about
wrong
this?
done
We
here?
flip a gold coin, and heads he lives and tails he dies. That's about as good as the king's justice anyway.
That might be the solution.
as you guys are talking about this and heading on your way out, you exit through the tunnel, the cavern to get to the next section. I'm going to move you over to a different map. Because when you get into this portion of the cavern, as you guys are coming down, you see more torchlights at the other end. And seeing each other, probably around, what is that, 120, 140 feet away, you see a woman that you have heard described before from Vasich. The blue ribbons tied in her black hair. And she calls out and she says, "Well, well, well. Aren't you the surprise of the day? You killed everyone here, did you?
Sure.
Look at
I'm
that
tired
handful.
of trying to convince people we didn't.
Look at that
That's an
anvil.
just
They
shrugs.
murdered this whole community." And you
Whatever
can
you wanna
see
believe,
that who
lady.
she's talking to is a very large orc next to you, who she's referred to as Anvil. He just growls.
So she's not talking to us.
Do you guys respond at all? Do you say anything?
Is she talking
Barclay,
to us? Or is she talking to the orc?
She was talking to the orc.
Okay.
She says, "Well, well, well. Look at this."
We know Kill People was king.
I remember you from Whisperwood. Is that right? You
King, the
had
king.
deals cut as people's throats were cut.
Oh, I have a good memory as well. You had a little thief locked up in a cell. Where is he?
He's preoccupied at the moment. Unfortunately, he can't join us today, but we'll be back shortly, maybe in a couple of months. No,
He hiding in shadows.
yeah, he's right behind you. Boo!
Who do you have bound up over there? Where's Edru? Humlin, is that you? Yes, it's me.
Edru is dead.
Killed him as well.
No, that happened
Passed away
without us.
mysteriously.
Kingsmen's caused this trouble here. Perhaps you're with the king
Kingsmen.
these days. Who are you working for today?
You sure do ask a lot of questions, cleric. Carpessa doesn't tell you the answers? You don't hear your god?
I don't bother my god when I know somebody is a shifty and untrustable.
Not underground, he doesn't.
Not underground. The
Oh.
reception's really bad down here.
You sure you want to mention that?
Send Humlin over here.
No?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Move out of our way.
Okay. Come move me. Get up, boys. And let's roll initiative. Oh, make sure you select your new token.
Are these 5 or 10 foot squares?
These are going to be 5 foot. Yeah, so maybe half the distance that I said previous. No, these are going to, well, let's see, 20 feet wide. Good question. Let me look at it real quick.
Looks like we're about 85 away if they're 5 foot.
I'm gonna say these are, we'll say 5 foot. And it looks like after this initiative, I got that's all my guys. So let's see what we got here. It looks like the bandits. It looks like Urk is going to be up first. And the bandits are going to go right after that. So Urk, you can sense that fight's going to go down, and this woman who appears to be the leader has called out for her boys to get you. We're going to take our break before we get into this battle. So we'll be back in about 5 to 7 minutes. But tonight we are giving away a set of glow-in-the-dark dice, lightning bolts. And I will show those off when we get back on camera. But yeah, happy Halloween. This is the treat that I'm sending out. So to enter to win the dice, just enter any emoji in the chat, and we will see you in 7 minutes. Welcome back to the Reaver Express. My name is Matt, also known as GrapeApe, and you are watching the longest-running Dungeon Crawl Classics campaign on the Goodman Games Twitch channel. We would appreciate it if you like us, give us a follow. Now, we are giving away a set of glow-in-the-dark dice, and you can see that I have the darkness on in my room, and that is to show you the awesome glowing effect of these dice. Ooh, look at that.
Now, Matt, are these
so they glow pretty well.
Are these Xochi dice that are the weird kind that you use for DCC?
They are. They have the D14, 16, 24, 33, 5, 7, 14, 16. As I get them closer, the light from my computer kind of takes off the glow, but yeah, way back here, they could almost be a low light torch, maybe. Definitely find you. You could drop them if you were lost and follow the trail. So last chance, enter any emote into the chat. I'm going to turn my light on real quick. So get those emotes in, and then we will roll for a winner. All right. So Elena, what dice are we going to be rolling this evening?
Let's roll ourselves a D10.
Okay. Here we go. Good luck, all the entrants. It looks like we.
So that's going to be, and I'm going to butcher this person's name, and I apologize, Ran Edlithall. Endlithall.
Rand Endlithall?
Ran Endlithall.
Rand Endlithall, congratulations. If you are out there, click on Elena's name, Vitani Maru, or anyone else's name in chat that happens to be in there. Or find Elena. Elena, if you could post something so they can see your name in there, click on Elena's name and send us your email address, and I will get in contact with you to get your address to get these mailed out to you. Congratulations. All right. So, Urk, it's your turn. We've got you sense a fight is coming. There is a well-armed group of combatants to the south.
All right.
What are you going to do?
So, Urk knows enough about tactics to understand he's not going to be able to just run up there and bash them right now if they're too far away. So what he's going to do, he's going to give some quick instructions to Trexen to watch onto Homlin. And then he's going to move forward his movement, which is, these are 5 foot squares, right?
They are, yes.
So, and then he's basically going to stand and hold his sword ready. Meaning like if somebody comes up and charges him, he's going to be ready to swing and attack. And if that, I can tell you his intended deed now or later.
There is no ready to action.
Okay.
So I would advise, if you're going to take a deed, take like a defensive deed, so that way it will apply to the rest of this round.
All right. That's what he'll do.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll just a d20 with a D die to see how successful you are.
Not sure how to do that. I can, well, tell you, I'll roll them separately.
You can just go to your class and hit D die, because really all we need is the D.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. But you wanted the D20 as well, right? So
I meant like a weapon attack, so if you hit any weapon, it would have shown
Okay.
up.
well, the deed
Yeah,
is
so
4.
very nice, very nice.
So and then the weapon that I am using is the vampiric longsword. So normally I'd have a +4. I don't know if there's any other to it.
Okay, as it comes out into your hand, what are we fighting? Are they vampires? Yes, yes, kill them, kill them!
They're meat.
Sink
They're
my
mean
blade
like
into their
vampires.
flesh. Sink my blade into their flesh. What did you say your name is, Wielder?
Urk. Urk Bloodletter.
Very nice. And 20, 30, 5, 40. So this guy's going to move 40, 10, 20, 30. This guy is going to move 30. He's going to toss a dagger your direction. So your defensive deed is going to give you an additional +2 to AC, but you won't need it because that dagger is going to clatter to the wall on the floor next to you. Barclay, it is your turn.
All right, Barclay can't move quite as quickly, but he can get 5, 10, 15, 20 up behind Urk, and he is going to reach into his gourd full of seeds and pull out some seeds and be calling out Carpessa's name and saying, you all shall be entangled in vines. And he casts and he throws a pile of seeds out towards them and casts Vines of Entanglement, which is his Canticles of Carpessa. He hasn't cast that often, but now's the time.
Okay. Let's see what effect it has.
Oh, and is that a right roll?
It's got a -8 on there because of your armor, but that does not affect for clerics. That would affect for magic users, wizards and elves, but it is not affected for clerics. So that -8 is gone. This is actually going to be a 10.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't have much luck, so a bunch of seeds kind of go scattering out in front.
As is the ways of underground calling to Carpessa. All right, it is our bandit's turn, and she is going to bring up a. Where are her weapons? Oh, there they are, right there. She is going to bring up a weapon and shoot at our front man. So with your +2 to AC, I think that 20 might still hit.
Yeah, it's still gonna hit.
So she zones right in on you, seeing seeing your sword as a stance. She kind of chuckles a little bit, and it hits you right in the side, and it hurts. Urk, you are angry, and she kind of chuckles a little bit, and she actually moves back about another 15 feet. But Urk, it is.
What does she mean?
I had you in there twice. Let me get rid of this other one. Coral, it is going to be your turn.
Okay, Coral's got that longbow out. 20, about 25. And I want to ask, and I hate to put you on the spot here. During the overnight where we were tending to this guy's wound, would we have gotten any spell burn back?
Yeah, so it would have been at least 1 point of spell burn. And you would have healed 2 hit points from the nice bed you got to sleep in.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to throw out a choking cloud, and we will see what we get. Gonna spell burn 2 to do that. For a total of 21. That's a good cloud. Let's see what
It is a
that
nice result.
looks like. I'm gonna copy paste this.
You gonna throw that to those people in the back?
I don't know. I'm not sure how big it is. Single acidic poisonous cloud, radius of 20 feet, centered on a target of the caster's choosing.
Yeah, but
So I
you've
think
got
if I,
range, so you could center it anywhere.
yeah, maybe how about right about here where I'm pinging between these two bandits.
Hey, let me get a circle out there. 20 feet in diameter.
Radius of 20 feet.
What
So
does that
40
mean? So
feet.
40 feet,
40 feet
40
diameter.
feet diameter? Okay. Oh my goodness, they changed so many things about Roll20. Like getting used to it all over again. Okay, 10.
I don't actually know if this was a
20.
great move because I feel like I've now blocked the
Mm.
ranged attackers from the targets in the back.
Well,
Maybe
plus
not
most
as-
are about to run right into that cloud.
yeah. Well,
You'll do it anyway.
maybe they'll try and run out of it. Yeah.
Well, targets
Okay.
in the cloud suffer a minus
Yeah.
2. It doesn't say anything about shooting through it.
That's true.
So right about there, I think. Yeah. Is that where you
Yeah,
were?
that looks right. Yes.
Okay, and I think that is the correct size. Or roundabout.
That's what it looks like it to me.
-2, they're going to take 2 points of damage each round and must make a fort save versus 21 when first exposed or be poisoned. So they will make their fort save right now. First guy does not succeed. Second guy does not succeed as well. So roll me 2d4, and their agility is immediately going to go down.
A 6 and a
Right.
5. Oh wait, they're just 1, right? Or 2.
Yeah, a 2 and a 4. So I will take the 2 and the 4. That is going to affect their movement and their reflex saves. All right, perfect. Do you want to move at all?
Nope. Let's hope that that is a good thing to have done. I apologize if it's not. We'll see.
So a poisonous cloud does indeed fill through the entire cavern right here. And you hear some coughing inside, some cursing. It's burning my eyes. And you also hear something else. The sound of stone kind of crumbling a little bit as something else is not liking this cloud. There's a little sound of like debris falling, rocks maybe from the ceiling.
Those centipede things.
This is where that
Coral.
crack was, right?
This is where that crack was. Yes, indeed. Barclay, it is your turn.
I think
Should be past
Barkley went already.
Pasternak.
Barclay. Oh, I had you on there twice as well. All right, Pasternak, it is your turn.
Pasternak will move down and try to fire an arrow at the giant orc.
All right, it is going to be on a D16 because he is through the cloud, even though you kind of recognize where he is, and he is big. It's still going to be on a D16.
I mean, AC 8.
That is going to miss. So you don't hear anything. You see your bolt, your arrow fly through. Nobody yells. Doesn't appear to hit anything. You're not sure what's going on the other side. I'm actually gonna add a little darkness here. So hide you guys. Well, That's not what I wanted to do.
Too dark.
But
I wish I
I
had
was
some
going
glow
in
in
the
the dark dice so I could see what
Yeah.
I was doing.
I just wanted to work in one section, but All right, so they are in the dark now. So he has taken his action. These other guys, you hear them shouting, and they're like, "Oh, no, I don't want to go in there. What do you mean?" And you hear, "Get in there now, kill them." A very hurt, demanding voice. And so you hear something going on. Not sure what. Um, it's going to be back up to you, Irk.
All right. Now, how opaque is this cloud?
I've always kind of considered it to be an acidic cloud that is pretty thick, kind of like a purple fog. So
Yeah, so basically he can't see in it. He just sees like this cloud show up in front and he can't really see what's in there.
that's a good question. I guess Coral, how do you perceive your cloud? What is the can we see the outlines of these people in there? How thick is it?
Like sort of cigarette smoke, in that if there's not much of it, it's not gonna obscure much. But if there's a big cloud of it, the deeper into it you go, the more like I'd say this first guy is pretty identifiable as like an outline. This other guy is probably more like a blob.
And then probably on the other side of it, you can't see anything.
That would be my interpretation, probably. Yeah.
All right. Well, Irk being Irk, he's not the brightest bulb. If he can see the outline of these guys, he knows where they are. He would probably just run up and try to get. So I
Okay,
think he's
go
going to
ahead.
be running into the cloud.
Oh no! Sorry,
Well,
Irk.
Yeah, go for it.
well, that's what happens
Uh,
when you put something in front of him. So he
Irk
knows it's a fight.
Irk
He
might
knows.
not even
Hmm?
he might not even know that that the cloud hurts. Yeah, so
Yep. So I'm trying to count squares. Yeah, I think he would go like up to here and try and bash this guy whom he can see. So first, I
okay.
guess we need to deal with the cloud effects. So it's a fortitude
Yeah,
save.
so roll a fort save, and as soon as you come in, you feel the burning on your skin and your eyes, and you can hear and feel, kind of like dust and small stones falling from underneath, and you hear kind of like I mean, it's hard to describe. There's definitely kind of a wriggling sound coming from above you, but
Okay.
the immediate threat is in front of you.
Yeah.
Uh, so, Coral, roll a d4 for me, please. You immediately feel 4 points slower, Irk, as
Okay.
this acidic cloud just kind of drains on you.
Is that agility or movement? When
Yeah,
you say
lower
slower.
your agility temporarily.
Okay.
So change the number on the left down by 4,
Okay.
and
Done.
you're going to take 2 points of damage.
Okay. Okay.
We have a reroll in chat.
I'm not sure if you're going to be able to beat a 21, but you can definitely use it if you want to.
Honestly, he's got a +3 to fortitude save, so he'd still have to roll like 20. So, much
You
as
want
it
to
would be
save? You
great.
want to save that reroll for something else?
You could re-roll that D4. That's the
Well,
negative to agility, so it's not a 4. I don't know if
I
that's
think
useful.
is that he kills this guy. Because if he
Right,
kills this
yeah.
guy, then probably retreat, right?
Let's save it for that,
So
yeah.
maybe
Why?
the reroll for that.
Why not? Why don't you try and hit him, and then if you miss, you can re-roll that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is going to be. So I don't know what bonus, if anything, this special sword has, but I'll just roll my regular longsword. And for a
Okay.
D, what he's going to try and do with this guy is he's going to try and slice up his arm. So like whatever his throwing arm that he used to throw a dagger at Urk, he's going to try and slice up his arm and slice the muscle so his arm is useless. Okay.
As you swing the sword for the first time, you can feel the blade singing in your hand. Yes, and as soon as it cuts through this bandit's flesh and it says, "No, this is not the undead vampire we are looking for. This is just regular human blood." But it does give you a
Still not-
+2 to a hit.
Okay.
This is actually going to be a 15 and a +2 to damage. That's
Okay.
actually going to be 7 points of damage. And as you swing it, you get another sense. You get the sense that this sword almost acts like a reservoir. And if
Mhm.
you were able to cast magic, you could use some of the sword's intelligence in lieu of sacrificing your own.
Okay. Berg does not have
So
intelligence sacrifice,
that
but
is true. But
so
you
is
do kind of get a rudimentary understanding that you would be able to take that on.
okay. Is this guy still standing?
No, he is definitely not. Along with the acidic damage that he takes as your sword slashes through his arm is dangling weakly. The tendons are just barely holding it on. As he screams, his eyes are burning and he's trying to hold on to his shoulder. He turns to run and just collapses.
Um, So can Urk take the rest of his movement now, or is it done?
It's done. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is no. It's either move and act or act and move.
Okay. So he's done.
So we do still have a reroll in there. This bandit is going to push forward, seeing your shape in the darkness. He is going to try to attack.
Okay.
And as he does so, does a 15 hit.
It does.
So he is going to slice you for 1 point of damage. He
Okay.
is also going to take 2 points of damage from the acid. So he is burning as well. And there's more dust falling from above. And you hear something going on there. Barclay, it is your turn.
All right. I forget if Pasternak or Quarrel or both of them. Which one has a bow? Along a ranged
Quarrel
weapon.
does.
Quarrel
He
does.
just got a nice new bow.
Yeah. So does Pasternak. Yeah.
Who's got the
Quarrel has
nicer
a fancy
new?
one.
Quarrel has a fancy one. Then I think Barclay will just kind of go over to Quarrel and lay his hand on him and say, "May Carpessa guide your arrows and try and bless you." Get to the spell book, and that's a 13. So you get plus. I think it's a +1 +1 bonus to all attacks for 1 round. Not very long, but
Hail Carpessa.
yes.
For a lawful god, she's not bad.
And
Shoot-
Quarrel, it
shoot
is your
straight
turn.
and
You
true.
do see the outline of a combatant in the fog.
All right, I am going to loose an arrow there. Am I at a D16 or what is this going to be?
No. You'd be at a D20.
Okay. I'll just roll a standard attack. This is the new magic longbow. I don't know what it does. 18.
D16 was
That's going to be a
because
19 with the bless.
Orc was all the way on the other side. Yeah. So this is your longbow. As shooting it, it does give a +1 to damage and a +1 to attack. So your arrow strikes true and kind of just thunks right into this guy's chest. And Urk, you see another body just drop right in front of you. You can barely make out 2 shapes further to the south.
Okay.
But yeah, he goes down. A writhing sound above you, and something is very agitated above your head, and these little crumbles keep falling down.
Okay.
Pasternak, well, Coral, did you want to move it all?
No, but I'll yell, "Urgh, come back! It's not safe in there! Get out of the cloud!"
It burns.
All right. Pasternak, it is your turn.
Pasternak will shoulder his bow and draw his sword and move forward to try and cover Eric's retreat.
You see two guys run through with swords drawn, hands over their mouth. They're going to double move, and that is all they're going to do. They're going to end up coming out here. He is going to see you and kind of veer off over here. This one is going to trying to avoid. Actually, I'm going to make him roll a reflex save to see if he trips over the dead bodies of his companion. Because it is kind of foggy in there. Yeah, that guy is definitely going to trip and stay inside. Both of them still have to make the fortitude save for coming through. So both of them are affected. And as this guy runs through, he kind of trips right at your feet, Urk, and slams into the wall behind him. So he's going to be stuck. This guy breaks out of the other side, cloth wrapped over his mouth, sword in hand. He sees Pasternak's outline kind of sitting there. He sees Coral glowing momentarily, an outline over his body. He's rethinking his idea, but he's already on the other side now. So he's got his back against the wall, sword drawn defensively. And Urk, it is your turn.
So Urk is going to attack this guy and then follow the advice to move out of the cloud.
All right, so you're going to take 2 more points of damage for staying in the
Okay.
cloud. So,
Yeah. Okay.
And attack away.
So he'll use his new longsword, and he's going to try to. His deed will be to try and hobble this guy so he can't get out of the cloud, so that he, like slice his hamstring or something, so he can't run.
Yeah, as he's stumbling over his friend and trying to maintain his balance, you just slice his leg out. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I think that's like my best possible roll. Actually, oh no, wait, I didn't. I didn't crit.
It says a +6. It says a +6 from something.
Yeah, it's a +6 from the sword. He's normally +4 with a long sword, and you said it was a +2. So
Holy
yeah,
cow.
that means he rolled.
Yeah.
That means he rolled. Yeah, he rolled 18, not quite a crit.
All right. That plus the D die, that's definitely going to hit this guy. And you just simply cut his head off.
Okay.
I mean, well, you were trying to cut his leg off. So yeah, you cut his. I mean, you're slashing limbs left and right. So you just sever this guy's leg right at the thigh, and he falls over, and you see a little stump waving in the air, squirting blood out. And he just passes out, dies moments later.
All right.
Nice.
And then we'll move out and come out of the cloud as per the advice of his teammate.
He looks like the guy in what was it? The guy that lost all his arms and legs and he still wanted to fight.
Oh, in Monty Python?
Yeah. So, let's see, where are we at? Bandits are dead. Barclay, there is one guy left. He is looking very frightful, regretting coming through the haze. What do you want to do?
I will move up to him and get right next to him as I'm saying to him, I think you might want to go back the other way, and whack him with the bull mallet. It's a 13 to hit.
13. 13 is just gonna miss. You think you are extremely close.
Not got luck to spare.
Okay. So there are no other bow shots from or any other sounds coming from further from the south. Coral, it is your turn.
Quirrell's been like carefully looking into the cloud, and he sees this guy just barreling out of it, and he turns over. I'm gonna shoot a magic missile at him. Oh, 8. I think I lose the spell.
That is going to be lost.
Your
We do still have a reroll.
+1, right?
Sorry, say again?
With the cloud, you did well enough. It said you had a +1 to your next spell casting.
Oh, that's the particular mercurial magic of the cloud itself. If I cast it in a row, each time I cast it, it gets better. But I didn't want to give us more classes. We got one too many as it is.
We have the reroll.
But you do have the reroll if you wanted to use it.
Go right ahead.
You tell me.
All right, if it's okay with everybody else, I'll go ahead and do that. And yes, I'll go ahead and, well, it's just a reroll, so I can't change anything. So I'll see what happens here. Oh, great. Well, sorry, chat person who gave us the reroll to have squandered it in such a terrible way.
No, the chat person is loving this. The chat person is loving that you have fumbled on this casting. All right, so let's get to Magic Missile, and I believe you're going to be rolling me a D6 to find out what effect is going to happen.
There's 1.
What did you get it? That is a 1, so I think that's not going to be that bad. Magic Missile is just going to be corruption. Oh, this is going to be corruption. Okay, so not too bad. Corruption, roll me a D8.
2.
And do you have a luck modifier?
Yeah, no, what's the worst one you can have? -2. I have a -2.
All right, so what is your total score?
Am I adding the, like, how is it? Am I adding this to the D8?
Yeah.
So either 4 or 0. 4, I guess, if that's how it works.
All right. Yeah, so it would be a 4. So the corruption is going to be the caster's hands and forearms.
Oh god. I don't like the way this starts.
Change color.
Ugh.
Change color to match shades of the most commonly cast magic missile. So your arms and your hands and forearms are going to change to a very vivid red color. Not the worst thing that can happen.
True, not the worst thing that could happen.
You look like covered in blood.
What just happened?
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of cool. But the most important thing is that you avoided the patron. So just a little corruption. Not too bad.
I'll mark this down
you've got
among his
bloody-
other disfigurements.
From the elbows down, a vivid red color. Pasternak, what do you want to do?
Pasternak will step forward and attempt to strike this with his wooden sword. It's a dirty 20.
All right.
6 points of
Did I
damage.
tell you anything about the wooden sword?
It's a +2, I think. That's included in. That's included in those numbers.
That is going to be enough to take this guy down. So, not the strongest bunch. And you stab this guy right in the stomach. He's looking down at the wooden blade, penetrating his abdomen. He kind of looks up at you in confusion, and then looks down at his stomach again, like, did you just kill me with a wooden sword? And then he crumples and slides off your sword. Oh. About this time, a crash comes from the south as pieces of the ceiling begin to fall, bigger chunks. and you see several large shapes drop from the ceiling onto the corridor floor. It looks like a whole family and nest of these scorpiopeds has just fallen across the cavern. They are writhing from taking this acidic, painful damage. And I'm not sure if you want to try and mess with them. There are a lot, so discretion may be the better part of valor. What are you going to do with the acidic cloud?
I mean, at this point, it seems like we should I don't want it to go away, right? It's just like I don't think we should go in there. Hopefully, I guess we wait and see if any of those things are able to crawl out on our side.
I mean, you may not even want to wait. But the thing is, you do hear a voice coming out from the other side, calling out, "I'm sure we'll see each other again." And you know that to be the woman that carelessly sent her men in to die. We're out of combat unless you guys stay in the corridor. If you retreat up to the north, you can get away from these things.
I think Urk would basically wait till they come out and bash them as they come out.
Mhm.
Because they'll follow
Yeah,
us,
same as
right?
Destiny.
And they're going to be weakened coming out of the cloud.
And you tell me, do you want to stay and fight?
That's what he would be inclined to do unless everyone's telling him not to. His instinct would be, if something's coming out of the cloud and he knows there's activity in there, he's going to smash it.
Was there
Barclay would say, Urk, no, just let's move back. These are just bugs. We don't need to kill these things. Try
Okay.
and encourage Urk to.
He's a little disappointed.
As you guys turn around, I need. Let's see. And Urk, make me a d20 roll, please.
Okay.
Okay. Just as you have turned around
Mhm.
and are starting back, before you guys get a chance to finish the combat, you can see fresh blood dripping down Trexon's forehead.
Okay.
And a red mark on Humlin's forehead. It looks like what happened is Humlin headbutted Trexon and quickly grabbed the dagger that he had, split the restraints holding him, and has retreated somewhere to the north. So Humlin is gone. The bandages are right down there on the ground, and Rexon is there, groggy, just kind of coming out of it now, and he's got. It looks like he just got struck in the head, uh, you know. Um, but Barclay, you're the first one to kind of turn around and check the situation. So you see Humlin not too far ahead, just kind of going into the mouth of the skull, back into the lair. You know what I'm saying?
So the cave continues on, right?
No, this is kind of the end of the cave, so you guys are kind of right at the entrance coming out. So if let's move our tokens down here real
There was
quick.
that skull we walked through on the bridge that was trapped.
Yeah, so he's right about here. And you guys would be just right at the very corner of the map at the entrance, just seeing that Tomlin has gotten headbutted and gotten the better of during the combat.
And he just looks head-butted. He just is.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's not. He doesn't look seriously injured. Urk definitely looks more injured than Trexon. Yeah, Urk has pock skin all over the place from the acid eating away.
How
Trexon just
badly
looks like he
was
got.
Urk injured? And Urk can take a
Um,
lot. So
He's at 10 out of 22.
all right. Then let me look at my sheet here. What do I have right now?
Well, Urk wants to actually do a Hail Mary. He's less interested in healing.
I'm gonna say
Barclay, I think, is
Barclay
going to
is
run
probably the
after.
only one.
Barclay's going to pursue him, and I'm in chainmail, or plate mail, so I can't move too quickly. But I'm also going to try and cast a lightness over him to blind his way.
Okay.
So I don't know how far I can move.
20 feet? Yeah,
and
probably.
15, 20, and then cast lightness. Come on. Oh, I hit it twice. Sorry about that. First one's 19.
That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Yeah. And lightness, for you all that are watching, is the opposite of darkness. And so we can basically look up darkness, and it's the same, just opposite.
What is the is that going to be able to hit him? What is the distance on that?
19. Designate a point within 100 feet and create a 20-foot radius sphere of light that remains fixed for the duration of 1 point of 1 turn. So that will reach him. It will create a 20-foot radius sphere of bright light around him. Let me look up lightness too, see if we... Lightness.
Foot radius is 40-foot diameter.
Yeah. Correct.
20
Pretty
foot.
big.
It's fixed at 1 point. And I'll put it right. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put it kind of not centered on him, but a little bit past him, so that it's kind of centered just a little bit behind him, so that if he's got a lot of lightness to go through if he tried to.
So right about here.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay. So like right here.
Yeah. So he's in the light, blinded. If he keeps running forward, he's probably going to run into something or fall in the water.
Yeah, because that's right where the hole was
Yeah.
that we already triggered.
Yeah.
Does it cause blindness automatically?
It's so bright that you wouldn't be able to see, kind of like darkness is so dark you couldn't be able to see.
Okay. All right. So that happens. So let's see. I'm sure you'd be able to see him as he calls out. He's like, "Ah!" And he's holding his hand over his eyes, and his left hand immediately goes to the wall. Now, he's probably walked this path every day for at least, 10, 15 years. Who knows how long. But his hand immediately goes to the left wall, and he instinctively steps over the part that is the trap. And he came back, backwards. You guys brought him out this way, and he's like, he chuckles a little bit, seeing that you guys tripped it. But he is going to make his way at a reduced speed. We'll say he moves at half speed through this lightness. Because he definitely doesn't want to walk into the water. And I need to see where the thing is. All right. He is right about here. And he's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20. Move 20 feet. He's going to move. Going to double move, so he's going to move 30 feet. 15, 20, 25. Right about to here. So he goes around the corner.
He can move that far in the blinding light?
He's moving half speed. I mean, he's got his hand on the wall. Do you think that's unfair? The light's not hurting him or preventing him from moving. If he looks down at the ground.
It's a 40-foot 40-foot diameter, so he gets through 40 feet with 30 feet of movement.
He doesn't get through the whole 40 feet, but he's going around on a curve, so he did 30 feet. Even if we center, I mean, if I center, you said you wanted it a little bit in front of him. So if I center it right there from point to point, he would still be in it, but that's not where you said to put it. You had initially sent it a little bit in front of him, so right there.
Okay.
I mean, so if you figure your lights go out in your house and you close your eyes and you stick your hand against the wall, you're going to know where your couch is. You're going to know where your chair is. You're going to know when the kitchen counter comes up because you've walked it your entire life, right?
I might need
That's fair.
like a dex save to keep from banging my shins on the coffee table, maybe.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I mean, you guys convinced me, so there was no real argument until right then. You guys were just complaining. But yeah, I'll give him a reflex save. I like that idea.
He knows what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing. So he has managed to successfully navigate through this blinding light area. And, you know, I mean, it was... He slowed down. He put his hand over his eyes. You know, he's just looking at the planks at the ground. So, I mean, I think that's kind of within the realm of possibility. You guys have any other convincing arguments?
I forget how big the gap is he had to step over. I mean, if it was a big enough thing, it might be hard to. Right, it was a trap that he stepped over.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was a hop. So it was, I think, 2 or 3 planks that fell through. So it was enough for one person, body width wise, maybe a foot and a half. It wasn't a big jump. And he knew where it was by heart. So he gets around the corner.
I
Pretty
don't.
good corner. And yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what others are doing, but Barclay would continue to pursue.
Hey, what is everyone else doing?
Urk would totally pursue.
Same.
Yeah. So
He's mad that he hurt Trexon.
Hey. So why don't you guys move? So Barclay, your turn's kind of over, so you're going to stay there. But Quarrel, Pasternak, and Urk, why don't you guys move your full movement or your double movement?
That's Urk's double movement. It's right at the edge of the light.
It's 60 for me.
Okay. All right. So next round, what is happening with Barclay?
Barclay would continue to move up. I guess he would double move 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. At least get up to tell Urk, like, the light will just blind you. It won't hurt you. Like, it's just light. Just to let Urk know, like, you can move through it. Just watch out for the trap.
Yeah, does that thing move? The light
Fixed.
bulb? Okay.
Yeah.
This seems like
at the level I did it. Yeah.
Seems like an opportunity for us to get dumped in the water if we try to move through that thing. What I'm thinking. And I don't want any of us to end up in the water.
Can you dispel it, Mark?
You know, I don't know if I can. I've never thought on darkness. Can I dispel darkness the same way?
I think I've always tend to lean that if the caster, I don't know, there's 2 trains of thought that it either runs its determined time because it's cast for a set amount, or that you dispel it with the same action that you called it forth. So that would take an action, but you tell me how you perceive it.
Well, if I think I can dispel it, seeing that, you know, sensing that he kept moving through it, I would try.
Okay.
So, but what I need to roll is that basically.
I think that's fair. Just a minor success of like 12
Okay.
or above.
D20 plus is it +3 for casting? Well, why didn't that work? Let me just click
You
this.
gotta put the
You have
forward
to
slash
slash.
R
Do it this
space
way.
in front of it. So
There we
he
go.
has moved. Yeah, perfect.
21.
So you get rid of that cloud. He has moved. You guys can't quite see him, but he has moved through the corridor, and he's gotten to this point on the bridge, and he just leapt and dove into the water. So he double moved, so it was 60 feet from this point right here.
Yeah.
And so when he got to the bridge right here, I mean, you guys wouldn't know this, but you hear a splash because instead of following the path, so let me draw this. So there is a path that you guys followed like this through here.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, he leapt off the bridge right here and just swam to right there.
Okay.
So that's where he ends at 60 feet, still in the water, but you guys hear a splash. So maybe he fell off the bridge. Who knows what happened to him? So Barclay, you and him are up again, as that's the way we started. But all your friends have kind of passed you by. What do you want to do this round?
So it's Barclay's turn. He would continue moving. We know where the trap is, right? So I could move
Did you
past it.
double move last time?
Yes.
All right, so I need you to move back because you took the action to dispel your spell.
All right. So I would have
So you'd only be able to single move.
All right. So I got a single move would have been to about there. And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Because I'm in armor, I can I move slower.
All right. Once you get right there, give me you hear a splash. Where are you looking?
Well, I'm
without
guessing
the knowledge.
I would have been looking to make sure I didn't go in the hole that was in the ground. Is where I would have been looking to make sure I got over that. Yeah.
Okay, so you hit the other side of the hole. You hit the planks. You're looking around for this guy. You've heard a splash before you came around the corner. You know the path and the trail that you guys take. Be a luck check, I guess. What I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Luck check.
Yeah, you went through here.
Sorry, that is a wrong button, but that is not a passing luck check.
Okay, so you do not notice him right off the bat.
Yep.
The other three, you guys, he would act first. So he would climb up little grotto holes right here. There would definitely be some action in the water as whatever creature lurks in there was looking for maybe a piece of quarry that got away. And then he is going to... you're not going to see what he does next. Well, he does climb out right there, but now the rest of you can go. So coming around the side, everyone give me a luck check as you come around the corner. Past Barclay. You've all heard the splash as well. You guys are all searching for him.
Kirk fails.
Last chance. All right. So you guys do not see him at all. He has essentially disappeared. You heard a splash. Don't know where he went. There was some definite splurshing from whatever this Leviathan is underneath. So did he get eaten? Maybe he fell off the thing, blinded by the light. I don't know. What do you guys do now?
Well, Urk keeps running just because he doesn't really know what's going on, but he really wants to get this guy because he's mad that he hurt Trexon.
So what's gonna happen? You can shift searching. Are you gonna stop and search like every nook and cranny, Urk? Or are you running to a certain point?
No, Urk is basically presuming the guy kept running the path, so he's just going to keep following the path.
Understood. Passionak, what about you?
Pasternak will go back and check on Drexen. But as far as he's concerned, we set Humlin loose anyway, and we're going to leave here. So
Yeah.
Humlin got away.
Maybe problem solved. Coral, what about you?
I'm hot on the heels of Urk, moving as fast as I safely can to try and get to the end of this thing.
Okay, and yeah, Trexon is kind of keeping up as well, and he's like, I'm sorry. He hit me in the head with his head. I was watching you guys to make sure you were okay. I wanted to see if you were safe, and I had my arm on his arm, and he just smacked me with his head as hard as he could. So this is the story he tells you when he comes back. He got my knife. I'm sorry. I'm not a trained fighter, and he's pretty upset about it. You're walking the path, looking, finding, searching. You guys end up making it to the other side because he is going to end up getting away. But you're searching the rooms, you're searching here and there. You don't see anything in the water, but you do see this set of stairs to the east. So you guys will eventually kind of check this area out, and you'll see that it ends up in another corridor. And this corridor heads up to the northeast, a ways away. It looks like there is a door right here where this dead bandit body is, but it's already triggered and open. Long story short, he escaped out this way. This will head up to the surface, a good distance away from the main entrance of the cave. So he is out in the wilderness running for his life somewhere. But he did get away.
For I think the third time, we've resisted the urge to murder Hobo, and it has proven to be the wrong choice.
No, you guys were gonna let him go anyway.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Well, Urk goes back to Trexon and he says,
Sorry, couldn't get him, but this is next time someone headbutt you. When you get headbutt and your head go back, make fists go out too.
it gives him some advice as to how to, fight back against a headbutt.
I need you to train me.
Okay, I train you.
All right, so this location is abandoned for right now. This guy got away, but where does he go? He's got no friends. Does he really have? Is he really a threat? Who knows?
He has no gear either.
Yeah. So he
Probably
has
heading
disappeared
back
out of the
on.
wilderness. He might get eaten by something. Yeah.
I think he's going to go see
what?
that guy. I bid on.
Yeah, he's probably going to Admiral.
Or Abaddon.
We've got him. We know where he's going. We've got a map to where he's going. We could, if we wanted to catch him, we could do that.
That's a good point. I mean,
Rita's more important. Find her first.
Revenge is as important too sometimes. Oh, did I say that out loud?
that's a very good point. Barclay, do you want to switch alignments?
There's not a lot of law going on right now of lawful behavior, and what that guy did not seem very lawful in Barclay's eyes, trading a person for some benefit. So in his mind, he is, not doing anything unlawful. He resisted killing him, and he was interested in justice, right?
That is
So
true.
you tell
That's
me.
good points. Good points.
Yeah.
Give me a willpower save. Let's see what happens. I mean, if this is a fumble on your willpower save, then yeah, I'm gonna think you go bump up to neutrality. So you're able to reconcile your actions pretty convincingly. I like your explanation. So yeah, not quite yet, but you're teetering on your decisions. You're second guessing yourself, and you're having to think through some of it. Say, yeah, okay, maybe sitting on his chest and punching him in the stomach, but it was for a greater good. So
That's what he
a
tells
little
himself.
self-reflection. All right, you guys have the run of this area, but what is the next main plan?
That is a good question.
Urk promised to
There's a
help Bark
lot of
get
stuff
the cake
here.
back, so Urk thinks that we should try to go find Rita, which means going to the king, as far as Urk's concerned, and he'll train Trexen along the way.
Is the king's guard? I guess. I mean, is there a capital city where we're pretty sure the king and his guard have retreated to?
I mean, retreat's a strong word. A king does not retreat in his own
Retired
land.
to.
A place that they're
Ah.
centered their home base is at.
Absolutely. So let's go over to the map here. And this is the map of North Haven. So Athlasburg, almost directly to the east of where you guys are at, essentially, is where the king is based out of. You would have to. You could go back to Fallon. You could go through Meadhan, or you could try to go over this the deserts to the north. But that does come with considerable risk of trying to get up this plateau. So yeah, it is a long journey, but one that can be made. I mean, you've got a little hideout here in the swamp. You've got a wizard's tower with a genie in it.
The wizard's tower is in the middle of this lake, right? Is that right?
That is correct. Yep. What do you guys think?
I'd like to go through the desert myself, for my own selfish reasons. Where I was like, let me spin
That's
you a
right.
tale. There's a secret spider that lives in the high deserts of North Haven, and it is sacred to my goddess.
Hmm.
And if I were able to find one of these, I could invoke my patron, which I've never been able to do. That could be useful for all of us.
And what is this up here? Do we know that there was something up north that we think is where they uncovered some magical items? That is what they were trying to cover up.
You have heard that rumor. I don't even remember where you heard it from. Do you remember where you heard that from? I think you heard it from
Eva.
From Eva and Whisperwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have said, you wouldn't know the exact location, but yeah, this door right here leads to some kind of underground desert dungeon of death. Very bad. Don't go there. But yeah, they found something there, and that got the king all excited, and that kind of kicked this whole thing off.
If it dungeon of death, are there vampires?
Yes. Find out where the vampires are so we can kill them.
I'm looking.
There may be answers there. If we can find out what it was that made the king so, kill crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe that gives us the upper hand.
Well, the thing that occurs to me looking at this map is that Abaddon's to the northeast. This is to the northeast. Maybe they're one and the same.
Does that map lead in the same direction?
So looking at the map that you guys have, I'm going to draw a little line on this map. There. But the map kind of goes near this waterfall right here, and then circles like this, which you're not really sure, but that is the line. And it goes right to this kind of peak point right there. So kind of around the base of the mountain, and then through or behind this waterfall, and then up into the higher reaches of the mountain. So not far, considering.
Um, I say, pursue the king's men. Like, which way? Do we have an idea of which way the king's men would? Is there any? If we scout out in front, do we find any trails that indicate which? There's a whole bunch of king's men, right? There has to be some sign that all of these people moved out and went some direction. So Barclay would, ask everybody, let's see if we can figure out which way the king's men went. They must have left a trail in some direction.
After you're kind of searching around about out here, give me like an intelligence check. Let's see how good your tracking abilities are. I mean, that many men, as many men as you assume, would be easy to find. Those are some abysmal rolls, though. 12 is the best one we got.
You have abysmal intelligence. There were two of us
Both ways,
before.
yeah.
Ask
Where-
ask the sword which way they went.
That's a good
Sounded
point.
smart.
What is the sword's name, by the way? Is it just sword, or is there a special name for
This it has not revealed itself to you yet. Perhaps, do you inquire to the sword what its name is?
Yes.
Sword.
Creature.
Sorry?
When you slay your first vampiric creature, only then will I share my name. Names have power, Urk.
Okay. Deal. This is
So
Mr. Sword. Can you track for us? We looking for army.
no, I cannot track. I am just a sword. But if they were vampires, they would have flown in the air as bats, and you would find no trail at all.
That good point.
I tell you that much. But Chris, you got the 12. I was looking for a little bit more. Do you want to spend any luck on that?
I will spend 1 luck, and I will do a wide circuit around the mouth of the cave in like a half a mile radius, looking for beat down brush, looking for horse tracks, looking for broken branches. Like there must have been a good number of them. They couldn't have just slipped away.
If you can find some if you can find some physical trace, I could spell burn the hell out of a Misty Mark spell. I might be able to track them.
Give you something. I was looking for a 14, but I'll give you a little tiny hint for that 1 point of luck. You find remnants of a amount of troops headed to the west, or whatever there's been travel to the west. Whether that's the people you're looking for, or whether that's this group with the comet on their hands. I mean, these underground caverns could have held at least another 100 or 200 people inside. You found a lot of dead bodies, but there is enough extensiveness to these caverns that more people could have been here. So you don't find anything to the north, definitely. You don't find anything to the east, and the swamp is to the south. It's possible they went through the swamp, but it's swamp. Any trace would be gone.
Also, there was that back exit that we just. So maybe when the king's men were attacking, some people escaped out the back.
So, I mean, there might be refugees out there. Who knows?
What do y'all think? Which way?
Earthlings might be vampire in Death Place. Want to kill vampire.
So,
Never
I
heard
mean,
vampire before.
Chris kind of wants to go to Coral wants to go to the desert. I think Pasternak, you kind of want to go and follow this trail to the west.
Yeah.
I'll look over at Barkley and say, Barkley, in your heart, where do you think Rita is?
I mean, you have spells at your disposal, Barclay.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think second sight will tell me much. I thought about second sight, but I don't know if I can get much beyond, I can only see so far into ask questions so far. I can try second sight and see if it tells us anything.
Well, going
267.
to depend. Well, going to depend on how you pose the question.
Yeah. So Barclay will ask the question, if we head in this direction, indicating the trail that, the light trail that was found by Coral, will this, if we head in this way, is this the best way? Is this the direction to find Rita?
Okay.
All right.
Roll your spell check.
Let's do the spell check. Second sight. 15. So that is a 75% chance that I receive an accurate answer.
I have rolled in secret so that our viewers can see on the Roll20. I believe the Roll20 is being shown. So the viewers will be able to see. So it's 75% that the answer is accurate. And the sense that you get from Carpessa is that the way to the west is clouded with some kind of energy, but it will eventually lead to the goal that you seek.
I'll tell the others, it's not really clear, but Carpessa is saying this will lead us to where we want to go. I say we go to the west.
All right, I'm in.
Okay, Bart.
Decision.
Trust you.
Trust in Carpessa.
Pasternak, does that sound like a plan for you?
That works for me.
All right. Rexon puts his hand out so that you guys can all put your hands on top. And he says, I'm in. Let's go.
And as they put their hands on, I'll say, oh, but some of you need a little healing first, I think. Because
Erky.
probably Irk's hand is on it and like blood is dripping down over everybody else's. Like, man.
My hand is vividly bright red.
Feeling a little slow though.
All right. So a decision has been made. We will come back to that decision in 2 weeks. Barclay, do you want to make us a healing roll real quick?
Yeah, let me do a couple of quick healing on this one will be on Irk. Oh yeah, that's a lot of dice for Irk there.
Problem is we're opposite alignment because you didn't change alignment.
I'm getting there. I'm getting close. And it sounds like Carpessa is not warming up to Trexen quite yet.
I mean, he just had a little bump on his head.
Yeah,
It's
I'll take some of the bandages I have and try and clean him up a little bit. And
okay. So Irk is gonna heal 40-12. Are you guys same alignment?
No, Irk is chaotic.
Yep.
I mean, come on,
Right.
Irk is chaotic.
Yeah, so roll me 2d12, Irk, to see how much you heal.
Oh, look at that.
Back up to full.
Very nice. Back up to full. You feel great.
Yeah, now he just needs his ability back.
Right, we will join our companions in 2 weeks' time as they traverse to the west, possibly find this, I don't know, god, holy man, sage, Abaddon. Will they find the King's Guard or whoever they're looking for? And will this guy who got away come back to haunt them? I don't know. Join us on November 17th, and we will see you guys later.